Let's start today's session laying on your back, knees are bent, round about hip distance apart, and we'll start with some pelvic tilt, so bringing the heel of the hand onto the bony parts at the front of your hips, thumbs together and fingertips together to make that triangle. So on your exhale, scoop your belly and let the lower back sink into your mat as your pubic bone rocks towards you. And then inhale, allow your pubic bone to rock away and a small arch is created in your lower back. And exhale, scooping the belly. And inhale as we lengthen away. And exhale, scoop in the belly. Can you draw in and up through your pelvic floor? And then try to keep that engagement as you keep rocking between those 2 points of your pelvis. Exhale to scoop, navel to spine. Inhale as we lengthen away. Keep the eyes looking forward slightly rather than overhead so that the back of the neck stays relaxed. Exhale to scoop. Inhale to lengthen away. And you have one more. And scoop. And lengthen away. Coming halfway between those 2 points into our neutral pelvis, let's place the hands down by our sides. And then finding that tilt again as you tuck the pelvis under, holding that tilt and then starting to take it up into a pelvic curl, pressing through the feet to lift the hips. Inhale once you reach the base of your shoulder blades, and then as you exhale, soften your sternum and try to bring down your spine one vertebra at a time. Releasing the tailbone as you get to the bottom, back to that neutral pelvic position. And again, scooping the belly, find that tucked under feeling, that posterior tilt, and peeling yourself up. Inhale at the top, and then exhale as you roll down, keeping the back of the neck relaxed, one vertebra at a time, and releasing back to neutral. And keep going with that. For clients who have osteoporosis, maybe a lower back injury, here is your alternative to the deep lumbar flexion of the pelvic curl. So we omit that tilting under of the pelvis, and instead you're just going to hinge the hips straight up without changing the position of the back. Pushing into the feet, arms can push into the mat to assist you, and then you're going to allow the hips just to return back down without changing the position of the spine. So it's an exhale to lift, inhale and hold the same as the pelvic curl, and then exhale as you lower down. And let's keep going with that. So choosing the option that is right for your body. I'm going to keep going with the pelvic curl. Inhale at the top, exhale, dropping my sternum, moving from upper through mid, through lower back, releasing that tilt at the bottom. Inhale and exhale to tuck my tail under and then peeling up. And exhale as I soften my sternum, dropping down through my spine. Let's do one more lift here. Inhale and exhale, scoop in the belly, peeling up, creating that long diagonal line. Now can you hold it there? If you can, let's add a flirt of the arms up towards the ceiling. Maybe you can take it beyond. And then as you exhale, bringing the arms forward and back in line with the body. And let's do that 2 more times, just taking it to the point that is comfortable for you. Or you can just work on holding this bridge position. Keeping the shoulder blades neutral, trying to not let the shoulders hike up towards the ears. And then bringing the arms all the way down, let's articulate the spine back down to your mat. Coming back to neutral. Bring the arms out to a T position with your palms facing up, or you can have them bent at the elbows in a 90-degree bend. Knees come together and sides of the feet together, and then anchor the toes into your mat, ready for a spine twist. So on your inhale, you're going to take the knees over, rotating at the waist, and then exhale as you come back through centre. So as the knees go over, look towards them and try and keep the knees in alignment. So that top knee, try not to let it fall behind the bottom knee, and then exhale as you come back in. And inhale, taking it over. And exhale as you come back in. Inhale. And exhale, really drawing through the sides of the body, or the sides of the trunk, as you draw the legs back in. So we're trying to find that engagement through our oblique muscles. Inhale as you rotate, and exhale as you come back to centre. So keep going with that. As you rotate, try to keep that opposite shoulder down and relaxed. You'll notice it might want to lift, which means you might need to make your rotation a little bit smaller. For those who would like an extra challenge, you can bring the legs up into tabletop, knees and sides of the feet together, and take your rotation in this position. Again, same things apply. Try to keep the knees in alignment, and exhale as you come back to centre. So we'll go 2 more to each side, and exhale. So you can kind of feel a massaging action on the back of the pelvis. As you rotate, one side of the pelvis has to lift. And last one. Exhale as you come back to centre. Slide the arms back down by your sides, and let's bring one leg down if you've got it in tabletop, keeping the other one there, or bringing your leg up to tabletop if you were working with your feet on the floor. I want you to think of your hip as a hinge point, and we inhale to tap down, exhale to lift. So nothing changes at the knee joint. It's just movement coming from the hip. And try to feel that your thigh bone is sitting heavy in your hip joint, so that you're not grabbing here with your hip flexors. Exhale as you come up, and this movement is happening without disturbing the pelvis. So we still engage through our abdominals, we still have that sense of drawing in and up through our pelvic floor. And you've got one more on this side. Inhale to tap, and exhale to lift. Placing that foot back in line with the other, and then let's come up onto the tiptoes of your left foot, bringing it up to tabletop, and again, inhale to tap, and exhale to lift. Inhale as you hinge at the hip, and exhale as you lift up. Inhale, and exhale. So try to keep the supporting leg really stable too. Sometimes you'll notice that knee wants to wobble in and out, so if you can keep that really stable, as well as just making that movement with the working leg a hinging action. And you have one more on this side. Finishing with the leg up in tabletop, let's progress it by coming up onto the tiptoes of your right foot, and we go inhale, exhale to change, and inhale, exhale to change, really keeping the abdominals engaged. You should start to really notice them working now as you are more challenged using both legs to stabilise your pelvis. So if this is feeling a little bit too much, just go back to the single legs. Otherwise, let's keep it going here. Inhale, exhale. Again, just a hinging action at the hips. And you have 3, and 2, and 1. placing both feet back down in parallel. So the next exercise involves flexion. So again, for some people this is a contraindication. You can keep going with your pelvic bridging or the leg lifts that we've just done. Interlacing the fingers, placing them behind the head, and just have your elbows in your peripheral vision so that your shoulder blades are in their neutral position. Taking an inhale to prepare, initiate your curling up by drawing your chin down to your chest, and then as you exhale you scoop the belly, peeling up to the base of the shoulder blades, eyes are looking at the thighs. Inhale and hold for a moment, deepen your abdominals, and then reverse it to come back down on an exhale. Inhale, nod of the chin. Exhale, we peel up to the base of the shoulder blades. Inhale and hold, and then exhale, we roll it back down. Inhale and exhale. And exhale to lower down. So think of hinging at the sternum, scoop in the belly, making the movement come from the abdominals, and then rolling it down with control. Let your head really press back into your hands so that it's feeling really supported through the neck. And try to avoid any tension building in the neck, so really use the abdominals to create the lift rather than pulling on the head and the neck with the hands. So you want to have a sensation of pressing the head back into your hands the whole time that you're working. And exhale to roll down. Let's go one more here. Inhale and exhale to lift. Inhale and hold, and exhale, rolling all the way back down. So reset your position and we'll come back up into our chest lift to add some rotation. And exhale, lifting up, keeping the pelvis as stable as you can. Let's rotate to your left. This is an exhale, so we're not adding any extra height or flexion. It's just rotation. So try to let your eyes just look beyond the end of your mat, keeping the elbows fairly wide and the head pressing back into the hands. Exhale as you rotate and inhale. Again, we're feeling the work of the obliques, like when we were doing our spine twist. And exhale to rotate. Inhale through center. Last one. Inhale, exhale, roll yourself all the way down, and then let's just have a lovely stretch here, reaching into the fingers, reaching into the toes, so you're reaching out in opposition, making the body really long, and then relax, let everything soften, let everything go, and then let's bring our legs back into parallel, hip distance apart, find your neutral pelvis again. And then let's bring our arms up overhead towards the ceiling, palms facing forward. So you have a couple of options with this exercise. The easiest, or level one, if this exercise is new for you, is to keep both feet and head down. Or you can have the legs in a tabletop position, head can still be down. Or we can bring ourselves up into chest lift position and start here. So I encourage you to choose the position that is right for you. So once you're in your position, let's start pumping the arms dynamically. So make that nice and fast. We're challenging the stability of the pelvis as the arms move. If you have your head lifted up, keep the head high, curled in, eyes looking towards the thighs. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going with that breath pattern. And at any time you can bring the head back down to the mat. You can bring the feet back down to the mat. Just working with wherever you're at. And let's go 2 more rounds. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, allow the arms to float up as the head comes down. And then let's bring the feet down, 1 and 2. And bringing the arms down, relax. Hug the knees in towards the chest, and let's just have a little massage into the lower back, circling the knees around, taking them both ways, just allowing everything to soften out there. And then let's move into leg circles, so extending one leg down on your mat. You can have the knee bent if your hamstrings are tight, but really feel like that leg is anchored into your mat, and then the other leg is going to extend up towards the ceiling. Again, if you're tight in the backs of the legs, have that knee soft. Flexing the foot if you can, and then arms can either be out at the T or just with elbows bent. I want you to think of drawing a circle from the sole of your foot, so coming in towards the midline of the body as you circle around. So inhale for one circle and exhale for the next circle. And while you're circling that leg, we are keeping the abdominals engaged, trying to keep the pelvis as stable as possible. And inhale. And exhale. Holding at the top, let's reverse it, so taking it around the other way. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more. And exhale. Hold in here and then fold that knee in. Bring the opposite hand to the knee. Draw that knee across the body, taking yourself into rotation. And then if it feels comfortable, you could take the eye gaze towards that extended hand, so you're getting a bit of rotation at the neck. And just breathing into that stretch. And then bringing yourself back to centre. Lengthen that leg away on the mat, and then bringing the other leg and then unfolding it again. If you need softness behind the knee, you can have that if your hamstrings are feeling tight. Flexing the foot if we can. Let's work towards the midline of the body. Imagine you're drawing a circle on the ceiling from the sole of your foot. And again, with the breath, inhale for one circle and exhale for another. Keeping tummy muscles engaged. Try to minimise any rocking and rolling of the pelvis as that leg draws the circle. So if you find you're feeling quite unstable here, you just keep your circle pretty conservative. It doesn't have to be super big. Holding at the top here, and let's reverse it so you move away from the midline of the body. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale, one more set. And exhale. And then from here, folding that knee back in, grab it with your opposite hand, draw it across your body so you go into rotation, lengthening that opposite arm out, and if it feels comfortable in your neck, gazing towards the hand as you breathe into that stretch. And then from there, let's come into a side lying position. So lengthen your underneath arm out with your palm facing up so that your head can just rest on your bicep there. And I want you to stack your hips evenly. Front hand is pressing into the mat for support. And you're reaching out through your toes, so turn your knees to face front. And the sides of the feet are pressing together. Draw in through your tummy so your waist is lifting away from the mat beneath you. And then let's see if you can hover your feet off the mat. And then from there, a small lift. So it's like you're tilting the pelvis so that the legs move up. Exhale as you lift and inhale to lower. The whole time keep that sense of drawing the waist away from the mat beneath you so you're engaged through the sides of the body. And exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. And exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. For those who find this uncomfortable in the lower back, you can keep the lower leg anchored and just make it a lift in the top leg. And exhale as you lift that leg up, and inhale to lower, or double leg. Exhale as we lift and lower. Let's go 2 more on this side, and lift and lower and lift and lower. Slide that underneath the leg to a 90-degree bend. Your shins running parallel with the edge of your mat. Foot is just relaxed on the end of your top leg. You can bring your hands to your hip here, and it really helps you feel whether your pelvis is rocking and rolling, which we're trying to minimise. So let's start floating that front leg forward, just working at hip height, and I want you to come as far forward as you can before you lose the position of your pelvis. Small lift and lower, and then we inhale as we take that leg back in line with our spine. And drawing that leg forward, lift and lower. So it's just a small lift and lower, and then we glide the leg back at the same height as the hip. Lift and lower, and glide it back. Keep drawing in the waist beneath you, away from the mat. And again, thinking of everything stable through the pelvis. Exhale to bring it forward, lift and lower. Inhale to come back. On this next one, let's hold the leg out there, lift and lower and hold, and little drops. Just little pulses. Feeling the work into the side of the hip and the glute. And we go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that leg back. Turn yourself over onto your back. Cross the leg that you were working over onto the opposite leg. Now you can hold it here and press that knee away, or thread the hands through and draw the knees towards you to get a deeper stretch into that glute and hip that we just worked. And just let the lower back relax out into your mat, taking a couple of breaths here. And then when you're ready, let's do it all on the other side. So swinging the legs around, lengthening the body, palms facing up, excuse me, of your arm beneath you. Front hand here for support. Stack your hips evenly, turn your knees to face front. Draw your waist up along with your belly button drawing in, and then can you hover the legs just off the mat? So working with both legs, or both legs coming up. It's an exhale as you lift, inhale as you lower. And the whole time we just keep the feet hovering off the mat, really challenging the stability of the pelvis in this side lying position. Again, if you have any discomfort in the lower back, I just want you to work with a single leg, and it's just a small lift just beyond hip height. Or if you're doing a double leg, side lift, exhale to come up, keep going with that. And exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Trying to minimise any rocking forward or back of the pelvis. So feel evenly stacked, engage through the abdominals, long through your spine, reaching from fingertips to tips of your toes. And you have one more. Exhale. And inhale, lower the feet all the way down, bend that lower leg so you've got that 90-degree bend, and then just relax that foot on the end of your leg. And let's start by gliding that foot forward, keeping the hips evenly stacked, just coming to the point where you feel that position may be lost, and then lift and lower, and then gliding that leg back. So that gliding forward of the leg, you might only get to here, and that's fine. Lift and lower, and then taking it back. Just make sure that you're not losing the integrity of that pelvic position as you bring the leg forward and back. It's not about how far forward you can bring that leg. It's about keeping that pelvis really stable as you're moving. And leg is just at hip height the whole time. Lift and lower, and inhale as we go back. Exhale as we come forward, keeping tummy muscles engaged. And on the next one we're going to hold it out there after our lift and lower. So here's our lift and lower, and then as we hold we start those little pulses or those drops, feeling the work into the side of the hip and the glute. And we go for 5, 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Glide that leg back. You've earned that stretch, so let's turn over onto our backs. Cross that foot over, allow that knee to drop away if you're doing this version of the stretch, or thread the hands through and draw the knees in further towards your body, and just holding that stretch for a couple of breaths, softening out through that hip and glute that we just worked. And then from here, turn over onto your side. We're going to come to a kneeling position. So I want you to make sure that your knees are directly under your hips. And then you have a couple of options here. You can either work in a high position, so you've got your arms fully extended, or it might be more comfortable for you to work on your elbows. Again, make sure that your shoulders are directly above your elbows. So whichever position you're doing, I want you to spread your fingers wide and be right at the front of your mat, because you need room to extend your legs behind you. So spreading the fingers, put pressure into the little finger and the thumb. And then from here, I want you to draw your shoulder blades down your back, and it's almost like you're lifting your sternum away from the mat. So I want you to feel engaged through your back muscles here. Keeping the elbows a little bit soft, so try not to hyperextend there. Drawing the tummy muscles in, your head is just in line with your spine, so you're not arching into the neck. Let's take one foot back. Again, if you're on your elbows, you're doing the same thing. Other foot comes in, and then we're just holding. You've come out of it at any time, but let's hold for 10, for 9, 8, 7, keep drawing up through the tummy, shoulder blades drawing down and back, creating that diagonal line. 3, and 2, and 1, bringing one knee down, and then the other knee down, and then pull your bottom back onto your heels, extend your arms in front, forehead comes down as we take it into rest pose for a moment. And then let's reset one more time. So again, if you're on your elbows, same thing. Spread the fingers wide, push into the elbows to get that engagement of the mid and upper back, drawing the shoulder blades down. Or if you're doing the high version, let's get that great position established before we begin. So like the chest is lifting away from the mat, knees directly under hips. Let's take one leg back. Keeping the position of the pelvis, tummy muscles drawing in. Find your strong position here. Think of that long energy reaching out from the crown of the head. Tummy muscles drawing in, shoulder blades drawing down. And you can come out of this whenever you need to, but if you can, let's keep holding it here, feeling strong. And we go for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. From here, push the pelvis back, lifting it up towards the ceiling into an up stretch. Flatten through the back. Your ears are next to your biceps, and you're drawing your heels down towards the floor. They might not get all the way there. Your knees might need to be a little bit soft if you've got tight hamstrings. But just breathing into this stretch. walk through the feet. So bending one knee as the other heel lengthens down towards the floor or towards your mat. And just breathing in your own tempo. And then coming back down to a kneeling position. This time, if you can be on your hands, we're not going to do planks anymore. Make sure your knees are directly underneath your hips, and again, shoulders over elbows and wrists, and try not to lock the elbows. Just keep a little bit of softness there if you can. So first part of the exercise, let's think of our lumbar spine. You're tucking your tail under and rounding here, looking in towards your pelvis. And then as you flatten your back, don't let the tummy muscles drop. Try not to arch into the lower back. And I want you to think more about your upper back. So you're lifting your heart forward. It's like you're lifting the chest away and lifting it forwards at the same time, creating length and space in the upper back. And then moving back into that first position, tucking the tail under. We're in lumbar flexion. Inhale, we move through what we call a flat back as we find extension and space in the upper back. So try not to arch into the lower back here. And exhale, scooping the belly. And inhale, finding that length through the mid and upper back. So eye line comes up here. And exhale, we tuck, looking in towards our pelvis. Inhale without arching, find extension. Imagine you're being pulled from the crown of your head to the opposite side of the room. And exhale, tucking it under. And inhale, lengthening away without arching into the neck too much. And exhale, scooping under. And inhale. And one more. Exhale, tucking the tail under. And inhale as we lengthen from here. Let's go back into rest pose again. Lengthening the arms away, forehead resting on the mat, taking a couple of breaths there. You can also be in rest pose with your arms resting by your sides, which allows your shoulders to just relax a little bit further towards the mat. From our rest position, tucking the toes under and then sitting yourself back on your heels so we feel a stretch through those toes underneath us. And let's just hold that for a couple of breaths to finish. Relaxing through the shoulders, lengthening from the crown of the head. And then releasing the toes. Coming to a seated position to finish. Legs can be crossed, just relax now. And thank you very much for joining me. I hope you could hear my voice clearly above the rain that has been going on the whole time I've filmed this class. And I look forward to seeing you again soon, either in studio or for another class online.